EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the StubHub Center, 20 miles south of downtown L.A. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Chargers. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
On second down, Griffin. It's complete right side to Benjamin. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Slow.
From the shotgun, Griffin. And right side, Henry's got it. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Throwing now, Griffin on first down. Henry's got it out on the left side. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And he's got some space here. 20. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers have taken a first-quarter lead. You talk about explosion plays. There's one pretty much right out of the gate.
And now they get to ride a wave of emotion, momentum, everything. Just as you described, right out of the gate. Big sprint, touchdown. They're excited. But on the other side, they've got to guard against a major letdown because they hit them right in the gut with that one. And now you start to question yourself a little bit when you give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
That's fielded in the end zone. First down. Here's Cousins. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Corey Liuget coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play for the Vikings on 3rd down. 49 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 34. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Second down, Cousins. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jatavis Brown. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
Slow.
Play action. Now Griffin. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
No grounding call there. He had a receiver near the right sideline. It was pretty clear there. He just needed to get rid of that one.
And he did have a receiver in the area, but initially my view was obstructed, and I thought that was going to be grounding, but clearly the correct call made, and that is no call.
Is that why you threw your play sheet down? Is that why you did it? Was that the flag?
You can't be giving me up. I got a lot of issues up here in the booth. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Griffin. Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. They only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On 3rd down, Cousins. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Fielded about a yard deep. Kiss him goodbye, Travis Benjamin. The 20, 10, touchdown, LA. Travis Benjamin, 101 yards. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 29. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one. 46 yards. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Olivier Vernon brings him down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and they're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on 1st down. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball at the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. On 3rd down, Griffin. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Coverage there by the safety, Harrison Smith.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And now out comes Minnesota. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Cousins now on 2nd down. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he's brought down. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Cousins on first down. And Rudolph has it left side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game. To take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
From the red zone now, Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, both teams practice this situation, and this time the guys on offense won, and in a very nice way. What a run from that position on their own goal line.
Gave them some good breathing room.
I wonder now Do you still stack the line of scrimmage, or do you play normal defense? They may have backed them off with that run.
On second down, they'll run with Gordon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. The Chargers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now it's Griffin. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And now out comes Minnesota. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in a mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's into the clear. 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one good for 33 and a first.
Not a lot of dance steps in that run. That's much more like being that bowling ball, just going down and scattering some pins, breaking through contact, breaking through tackles, and he knows how to finish a run.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 24. Now a give. This is Murray. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
They go play action. Cousins going for it all. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 14-10 ball game. Carlson now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 1st down, Griffin. Throw left side complete. It's Gordon. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware, ball may come your way.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. And now it's second down.
I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered, and he was able to get a hand in and knock it away.
Second and 10 now. Griffin able to shake him off, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Everson Griffin in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Third and long. It's Griffin. Being chased out left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. We'll come back to Southern California after this. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And now out comes Minnesota. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back. Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now? They start the drive with Cook. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Let's go. Black.
Off the play fake. Cousins going for the deep ball. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while. What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass. The Vikings on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Cousins. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Here's Ryan Allen now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away. Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Give them 12 yards there. The Chargers have a first down. They go back to Gordon here on first down. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4. Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him. Off the play fake. Here's Griffin. He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in. Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. The Chargers on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. They'll throw on first down with Griffin. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the gun, it's Griffin. This is Gordon on the dump off. 14 yards is the pickup there, and a Charger first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now Griffin on first down. Flush to his right. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Griffin. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Sturgis able to knock it through. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, Sturgis out now to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Murray. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. They run with Murray, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Jordan Phillips busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. throw is Cousins. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a fourth pick of the game. And now fourth down. Here's Ryan Allen now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Now Griffin on second down. Man open left side. It's Williams. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. Give him 12 yards there. The Chargers have a first down. This quarterback now just 7 of 16 passing thus far, but he's got a 1st and 10. They go play action with Griffin. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Hey, 382, listen up.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Second down, Cousins. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 2.
2. Yellow. Rhino.
From the gun, here's Cousins. A bullet throw, but incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out come the Chargers. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. It's Everson Griffin who made the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now it's Griffin. And he's got the open man. It's Allen on the comebacker. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. This quarterback now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%. From the shotgun, Griffin. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it second and short.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first.
And this is beginning to border on dominance. Another strong run that picks up a first down. You've got to wonder if the defense coordinator is wondering, will even go to goal line defense in any situation now to try and slow down this running game.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They give to Benjamin on the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to bring up a third down. They snap it at 1. Now it's Griffin. And this is going to be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big gain of 38 there on 3rd down. They'll throw again. Cousins throwing well, that's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 more there and another 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
Open space inside the 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Chargers getting set to go. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. They go play action here on 1st down. And Cook has it left side. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Slow.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Out of the gun, Griffin. And right side, Henry's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a 1st down. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, Griffin. Dancing to his left. And an alley to run. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the 1st.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
Looking for the end zone. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Calling about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Griffin. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And that will break our tie and give them a 3-point lead. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. On the tackle, it was the West Virginia man, Kaiser White.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And this one's incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And it's 3rd down.
See, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. On 3rd down, Cousins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Hey, Clifford, Clifford! There's a hot!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Olivier Vernon in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Here's Gordon. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up, Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Flag 32. Flag 32.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. They'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Play action. It's Griffin. He completes it to Henry. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And now out comes Minnesota. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Back to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Clock running here under 90 seconds to go. This is where you learn a lot about rookie quarterbacks. How can they run that 2-minute drill? We're about to find out.
Yeah, and for them, it's not just proving it to guys like you and me watching the game and trying to beat a defense. It's proving it to their teammates that they can have the confidence in them when they line up in these situations.
And he just clocked it. But the clock wasn't even moving. Well, that's one you don't see very often, a wasted down. He'll look to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
He's back to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Got to be careful here. They need to move quickly, but it's also 4th.
Hey, flipper.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
slow. Ready. 319. 319.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Well, partner, even though my phone alarm failed me this morning and I missed our AM workout, we still made it through this thing together, didn't we?
Well, you always know I need extra workouts just to keep up with you, so it doesn't matter. But thanks for sharing a booth, and thanks for being our quarterback.
Yeah, you're the quarterback. Always a pleasure, my friend. So for the home team here, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Southern California, so long, everybody.